Hi everyone, welcome to my latest video. So I'm back with the 90s Bandai's figures comparison video. I judged them using three categories. So aesthetics and design. So basically, do they look like their actual Ranger counterpart? The next was accessories and features. So because certain Ranger figures they did come with like features. So was it applicable to the actual show or was it just random feature? And then finally articulation, like which sets of figures had the better articulation. So for if they look like their Ranger counterpart, honestly the Space Rangers did a great job with these figures. I would say they look so much like their Ranger counterpart. I don't see anything that they missed out or I thought that they could have done better. Even for the Black Ranger here, let me show it you close up. The Black Ranger had a white circle to outline his Lightstar portion of the helmet, so it doesn't just blend in all black. So they did that for the Black Ranger. So let's say they're pretty accurate there. So here I've included the picture of the Space Rangers. You guys be the judges. What do you think? Do they look alike or not? Even with the Time Force figures, they also did a great job here. They got their vices all correct. They had Red Rangers, not Red Rangers, all of them. They had the chest emblems stretched right through. It always bugged me for the Lightning collection how it was really small in the chest because it was very jarring. Looks like the only thing that really kind of peeved me was the Pink Ranger because with the light up Pink Ranger, her visor looked normal just like in the TV show. However, the visor for the Pink Ranger that like the one that I have that doesn't have any features, it looks like a heart that's fused together. The two curved pieces aren't stretching out like it's supposed to. So I don't know why they couldn't have done it for both sets of figures. I'm going to show you guys each of the Rangers so you guys can be the judges. So here's Red Ranger. I don't know if it's just me. I always thought Red Ranger's visor was a little bit smaller. The triangle should have like stretched out a bit more. Here's Yellow Ranger. No complaints here. They got yellow pretty much spot on. Being very careful with these figures. For some reason, the Time Force figures falling left and right. Here's the Green Ranger. Also, they got his visor really good. This is how I think the Red Ranger should have looked like. See how his visor is like stretched out throughout the helmet. It's not just small. Please don't fall. Here's Blue Ranger. I already showed you Pink Ranger and my peeves with it. Blue Ranger also they did a great job there. And finally, my favorite visor out of all of them, Quantum. See now, Quantum Ranger, they got the triangle stretched all the way out, like it's supposed to be on the TV show. That's how I wish Red Rangers looked. Here I've included a picture of the Time Force Rangers for your reference. What do you guys think? Also show you each Space Ranger. Here's the Silver Ranger. Here's the Red Ranger. I already showed you black and yellow, so I'll show you pink. This is what she looks like. Oops. Next, I'll show you the Blue Ranger. So here is what he looks like. I forgot to show the Silver Ranger, so this is what he looks like. And I think he looks pretty accurate to the one from the TV show. I included a picture of the Space Rangers again. I do not know why I split up the Ranger figures for Power Rangers in Space while I was showing them. I should have done them all together. So they pretty much look really good, both sets of teams. But if I had to choose a winner, I would give it to Space because Time Force Red's visor isn't. I had that issue with the visor is not covering the most of the helmet. And there's the issue of pink. I mean, yeah, we have a Pink Ranger, the one that lights up that has accurate visor. But if they're gonna do that, why can't they do that for all the different pinks, not just one? So for this category, articulation and I don't know why I said articulation. Sorry about that. I meant to say aesthetics and design. Space gets it for this category. So my next category is features and accessories. So for features, the Space Rangers, unfortunately, I don't actually have a working Lightstar figure. All of the batteries are dead. But for the features, for each of the Lightstar figures, when you pushed it, their helmet illuminated with the respective Lightstar symbol. So for yellow, it was like a camera. Black, it was a satellite. Blue, it was a TV. For pink, it was a cell phone. And red, it was a computer. Silver was never released as a Lightstar figure. It only came out after. And I loved that because that was actually used in the TV show. I think all of them used it at some, but it was heavily used in Mega Ranger. But Space, they did use it a little bit, and it wasn't really explained that much. Mega Ranger did explain it that the Lightstar symbols, they pretty much meant a special ability for each of the Rangers. Like Pink, I believe it was, she could use like sound waves to detect the enemy. Blue, he could use like illusions, like because this was a TV, you create like an illusion world, like a ninja. You know, ninja can make so many different versions of themselves to make themselves disappear. Black, I'm not entirely sure what Black's was. It was a satellite. Yellow's was a like a digital camera or a camera. She could detect like weaknesses or things that can't be seen. She could use it for that. And Red's, I think it was for different programming. Since silver was supposed to be a microchip, I'm not sure what that was for exactly. So the Time Force Ranger figures feature, though I don't have it in the set that I got, because I got the mega pack. But if you got the individual figures, they actually came with a light up feature. They pretty much look the same way when they were summoning their weapons. So I would say their light up feature was very accurate there. But for feature wise, I would have to give it to Space, because that took a lot of creativity for their individual light stars to shine. Like, they didn't even have to do all of that, but they've seen small figures. They were able to somehow put that little image in, which I really love. And for accessories, each of the Space Rangers, let me just show you guys here. They came with their individual weapons, which could form the Quadra Blaster. Let me try to take this off his hands. Or it looks like Carlos doesn't want to give it up. Oop, they're broken there. So Space Rangers came with a ton of weapons. Each of them came with this Astro Blaster here. The Astro Blaster, you could detach both sets of guns, just like in the TV show, and reattach it there. And they also came with their specialized weapons. Like Yellow came with their Star Slinger. Red came with the Spiral Saber, my favorite weapon. Blue got his Astro Axe. Black got his Luna Lance. Always bugged me that the Luna Lance was so tiny. I wish it was a lot longer. Pink got her Satellite Stunner. And along with their main weapons, they also got like merchandise only weapons. Meaning that it didn't actually show up in the TV show. But it's weird. The merchandise only weapons, they seem to color them, which I don't understand. Why not color their signature weapons? So let me just show you guys. So this is what Blue's weapon looks like. It's basically two axe halves that form together, or you can take it apart. Let me see if I can successfully take it apart here. Like really in there, this weapon. So once you put it on, it takes a bit to take it up. So sorry about that, I dropped it. So I guess you guys get the point. It's what the axe half looks like. The other one I dropped it on the ground, but you get the idea. Now for Yellow, Pink, and Black, I have it on card. I don't actually have it's somewhere. I don't know where the special weapons are. So Yellow's was this gun here. It was like this dismantled gun. So this is what it looked like. And then this would go on top of the gun. And then this little, I don't know, right here, that would go on the very top there. I'm not sure what exactly that's supposed to be. And then the next Ranger, Pink Ranger, this is what it looked like. She came with this shield and this one here. I guess it's supposed to be a baton. And this is what Black's looks like. It looks like a really huge Luna Lance on steroids. And it looks like. I don't have one for Red. So I'll show you guys what it looks supposed to look like. So in the back, that's what it looked like. So the handles were actually red. And the ends of it were just painted silver or gray. So you can tell it shows on the back everything that it comes with. It shows the special weapons painted for some reason. And I was hoping the Lightstar feature would work for these figures, but unfortunately they're completely dead. I mean, Yellow does have a tab here that says pull me, but I don't know, part of me is like, oh, if I pull it, it becomes less mint on card. So that's pretty much it for their accessories. One really cool thing about the Space Rangers, I tried to show it for every weapon, is that it could combine with the Astro Blaster. So you guys already saw what it looked like for the Spiral Saber. Show you with TJ's Astro Axe. So how it works is it comes with these little tabs here, and there are these little grooves that it can fit in. So you just align them, put them in, and then you take the top of the gun, put it in, and that's what it looks like. That's what TJ's looks like. I'm not sure if they had like a special name for each of their combined weapons. Next I'll show you Cassie. The same concept, you align the tabs. Some of my weapons are quite old, so it doesn't really stay. Okay, there we go. Looks like it stayed. It's also hard with the gloves here. I'm just holding it together with my hand, but you guys get the point. That's what it's supposed to look like. I feel like the tabs are kind of like worn off, so it doesn't stay the way it's supposed to. Show you guys the Luna Lance. That's what it looks like. I think it's the Satellite Stunner, because the Top Gun fit in all the other weapons except for that one. Oh. And then finally, Ashley's weapon here is the Star Slinger. Let me actually see how this is supposed to go. I feel like it's like this. Yeah, I'm having a really hard time putting this on here. I'm not sure the tabs are not working or if I'm putting it on wrong. I was successful in the past when I put it. I haven't put it together in a while. But here, let me see. I think I got it on. Yeah, no, it's not really fitting. Sorry, guys. I can't get the Star Slinger, but it's supposed to actually go on there. I'm not sure why it's not going on there for me. But yeah, so each of their weapons can fit onto the Astro Blaster. And I loved it because there were so many different connections that you could do with their weapons. Then we're down to the Silver Ranger. The Silver Ranger is interesting one. He was never released with the Lightstar Rangers. There was another wave of figures called the Astro Figures. The Astro Figures didn't have the light up feature. So they came with the Astro Blasters and like these souped up weapons. And yeah, so they didn't have any of the features, but Silver never came with his Super Silverizer. However, there was another set of figures released only for the males. When you squeeze the legs, they had like an action feature. They looked all bulked up. They didn't look like this. They were very bulky. And that Silver Ranger came with this Super Silverizer weapons. Problem is, let's say you just got that Silver Ranger for the accessories. It does not go with the rest of the figures. It's such a different build altogether. It just looks so weird. So if you want the weapons and the proper build, you have to buy silver twice, which really sucks. So I actually don't have the Super Silverizer to show you guys. So those are the accessories for the Space Ranger. I'll actually show you guys how to make the Quadra Blaster. To make the Quadra Blaster, take your Luna Lance, then you take your Star Slinger, you put it inside like so. There's a tab on the top. Sorry about that, my gloves are getting in the way there. There's a tab on the top and also one on the bottom. You're supposed to align the top tab and the bottom tab, and just give me one moment here. Just gonna try and get it on there for you guys. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, so just bear with me a little bit here. Funny because when I first made it, not with the video not running, I got it on perfectly. Okay, I think I got it there. Perfect, so there it is. Next, you put your Astro Axe. So the end of the Astro Axe here is supposed to go in right there, like so. And then finally your Satellite Stunner will go on there, like so. So the end of the Satellite Stunner, there's like a little pointy end, so it goes into the little hole there of the Luna Lance. And then you just connect the tabs of the Astro Axe, the tabs of the Satellite Stunner. So that's what it looks like. And imagine if all the weapons were painted, it would have looked even better. So there you have it. And also, and as an added mode, even though this wasn't in the TV show, you can even add this, take out the Star Slinger or Satellite Stunner. You can add the Spiral Saber. Let me just show you this. Sorry, I did it off camera there. You have a new mode. I think this looks more badass than the Satellite Stunner being there. Too bad they never used it in the TV show. Imagine how much awesome it would be. We have Cassie on the side with the Satellite Stunner booster mode, and then we have this will be called the Quadra Blaster or something else. Quadro Drill Blaster, who knows? But yeah, that's what it looked like. So yeah, there was so many combinations with the Space Rangers, which is really awesome. Finally, we're at Power Rangers Time Force. So for their accessories, they came with their own Chrono Sabers that had their individual ends carved in. That's what yellows looks like. Here's red, that's blue. And then Quantum Ranger had his weapon here. It's in like a sword mode. And then his gun right here. Quantum Defender. I really wish they had painted them. I love the Quantum Defender. Since I got my Time Force figures loose, green didn't come with this Chrono Saber. So green pretty much looked the same, but it had like a diamond shape on the end. Now for the Chrono Blaster, you guys already saw this in my previous video. I love this. I think it was called Chrono Blaster. Maybe I'm calling it wrong. Painted and together, it looks amazing. And I'll show you guys how to put it on. It's a lot easier than the Space Rangers weapons. So you have the Blue Rangers weapon. There's like a big space on there. Pink Rangers weapon. Reds. I think around Lightspeed, Bandai got their act together and they started painting actual weapons that were seen in the TV show instead of just merchandise only weapons. The weird part is they did a great job with the turbo weapons painting them. I don't know why they didn't do it for space. And that's Pink Rangers. So you would grab Blue Ranger's weapon. You would put in Pink Rangers like so. Oops, I got my glove caught. That's what it looks like. Red Ranger's weapon. You insert it in. So green and yellows pretty much look the same. So how you would know which side it goes on. You have a bigger tab over here and a smaller tab. just match it up. So this one here, this one starts the big tab, then small. This starts with small, then big. So it's not this one. So then it's the yellow Rangers one. So you just put it on like what fits in, and then this fits in, which is awesome. Now the really sucky part is that this is a really hefty weapon, so you can't really have the figure hold it comfortably without it falling over. And even to get the figure to hold it, it's too heavy, so the hand just goes down and it's like holding it like that. That's the only downside. I'm pretty sure there's probably a creative way to put it on them, but I feel like I'm always breaking the figure when I'm trying to put it on them there. So that's the accessories. Now, who's the winner? Is it Space or Time Force? Honestly, Space comes really close, but I have to give it to Time Force because while Space had painted weapons for merchandise exclusive weapons, Time Force had painted weapons that were in the TV show. Not only that, pretty much most of Space's weapons, even though they had a ton of combinations, their weapons did not come painted. So it kind of looks like, here we go. This one here looks very dull. It's just gray. Imagine if they had painted it. This is a situation of the Silver Ranger. If we were to get a Silver Ranger, we'd have to buy him twice to get his accessories, this Super Silverizer. And then there is another issue. I'm gonna see if I can find it here. So the old time figures before Lost Galaxy, they had these tabs on their hand. Let me show you. So that's how they held the figures. So you would take a weapon, like let's say you take the Astro Blaster, or whether you take the Astro Blaster, see that little hole there? You would just put it in and he would hold it like so. However, sometimes through time, the little tabs, they get really soft and they could break off, which happened to me with this Red Ranger. This Red Ranger actually I've had since 1998, and as you can tell, the tab broke off. So unfortunately, if that does happen to you, there's really nothing you can do unless you apply a bit of tape or something. Like, okay, yeah, it looks like it can fall, but falls off. So you're at a standstill there if your little tab breaks. That's another reason why I gave it to Time Force, because the new method of putting the weapons on the figure was so much more effective. You didn't have to deal with the tabs. They just had shaped hands here. And the handle was slightly bigger so they could hold it. So here's the weapon. Actually, my bad, it's the Yellow Ranger's weapon. Hopefully she doesn't mind Red borrowing it for a bit. You can easily put it on. I don't have to worry about tabs. And even for the Chrono Sabers, you can actually take them apart if you wanted to and have them hold each half. And my gloves love to get stuck on everything, looks like. So yeah, I mean, although Time Force had limited amount of weapons, only like 2 weapons each, I feel like that was more than enough because that's what we saw in the TV show. So definitely Time Force gets it because of my reasons earlier. So Time Force wins this category. Finally, we're at our last category, which is Articulation. For Articulation, these figures had very basic ones. So I'm just going to use my old Red Ranger here. Because the Red Ranger I have there is technically the Astra one. Only reason I used him is because this figure is really old. He has tons of scratches. So for being presentive, I use the other figures. So there's that Lightstar figure. The batteries are unfortunately dead. Yeah. You could technically change them. Just remove the screws and then put it on. But you need a little bit of patience because it's hard. Because you have to kind of balance the batteries like well. And then put it on. This is what it looks like. So for Articulation, up, down, you can put the leg up, down. And then the knee has Articulation up, down. Leg, you can go, sorry, not leg, arm, you can put it up, down. Then by the elbow, that's it. The Lightstar figures, you could move the head because of the light up feature. That was pretty much it. And the downside with the Space figures is that once you've had it for a few years, you can see how loose the joints are. So to get it to even stand sometimes, it would fall over. Let's see if this will stand. Oh, there you go. So it actually stands. But other times when I get it to stand, it always falls over. So I guess I'm trying to impress you guys by saying, hey, look, I can stand. Don't listen to him. So there you go. And for the females, pretty much the same articulation. Legs up, down by the knee. Arm up and down by the elbow. But they had one new articulation that the guys don't have, which is rotating the foot by the knee there. That's pretty much it. So Time Force, pretty much the same articulation, but they have had a new point, which is the glove right here. You can like turn the glove. So because not only that, the guys also had the rotating knee. Let me show you guys. Like this over here. So for all of that, Time Force wins this category for articulation. And with that, Time Force wins because they won 2 of the 3 categories. And sometimes I guess simplicity works because Space Rangers, they came with a ton of weapons, but by not putting that paint on the weapons that mattered, like the signature weapons, because it combined with everything. Imagine if the Astro Blaster and their signature weapons were painted. It looked so beautiful, all the different combinations. But it just goes to show you it's not about quantity, It's about the quality. And as always, thanks a lot for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. It always helps. Thank you and have a wonderful day.